Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We are live. Yes, sir. Let that play a moment. Let that play for a second. Because this episode we got is a treat. We got a rock star on the show tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No other than Dad Mo Wheelie Gang is on tonight. He'll be joining us in just a moment. And we gonna talk everything from riding to bike life to Ebro. Like, man, he just got back from Ebro. It was lit. It was live. It was everything. So we gonna get into all of that. But before we get started, just let you guys know our Tuesday takeover is coming October 4th. Okay, October 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4th. 4th. October 4th. First takeover ride is going to be in the city of Redlands, okay? So check the flyers. Check the flyer. Redlands, Tuesday takeover. We coming for you, Redlands. Coming. The meetup spot, 101 West Stewart Avenue, is going to be at the top of the parking structure. So please get there. Please get there. 6 p.m. meetup time. Roll out at about 7. 6:37. One of those. It'll be on the flyer. I'm not 100% sure. But if we meet at 6, we're probably going to roll out about 6:30, 7 at the latest. 6:30-ish. So make sure you're there. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the kids on bikes, we did postpone it. We're going to get a new date that works for everybody's schedule. It was a lot of conflicting matters going on. So we're going to pick a new date, and we're going to roll that back out. We got you, kids. We got you. I got you. Also, next week, next Thursday, we got no other than IE's finest, Wet Paint Larry. Yes, sir. Give it up for Wet Paint Larry. That boy's so good, don't you agree? So Wet Paint Larry is going to be on the show next week, and we're going to be talking everything. So Wet Paint Larry, man, we're looking forward to that one. So back to this again. We got Dad Mo Wheelie Gang. And, man, it's already about 9:01, 9:03. I said, let's go ahead and bring them on. Let's go ahead and bring them on. Let's see. Who's all in here? Who's in the comments tonight? Who's in the comments, man? Who's in there? Who's in the comments? Let's see. Who's showing me some love out here? Man, there's a gang of y'all up in here tonight. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Gang, outsiders. Yes, sir. We outside. Also, again, we got that outsiders tee. We got the outsiders hats coming. And also, when you see me out and about, pull up. Say slap me. And we got you on them slaps. Slaps on deck. So say slap me and we will slap you. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and cue up the one, the only Dad Mo Wheelie Gang. We're going to be talking everything from bike life to Ebro, man. So let's hop into this and let's get this party started. So with no further ado, let me cue up Dad Mode and get him out here. Yes, sir. Bam. Let's get him. Can you dig it? Hold on 1 second. Bam. And he is coming. Let's invite him on. Gentlemen, with no further ado, let's bring on Dad Mode. Dad Mode.
Hey.
Dad Mode. Dad Mode. There you go. Dad Mode. Wheelie Gang. Dad Mode Wheelie Gang in the building, everybody. Yes, sir. We got him in the building. The one and only, the walking, living legend himself, Dad Mo Wheelie Gang. And I said when I was going to call you, I was going to do my little prop tonight. So I got my phone, like we on the phone together.
Okay. I don't have one of those old school headsets.
You know what's funny is that this is the actual functioning phone for my cell phone. So It's got a jack. I can just plug it in to the bottom. But see, it's the old phone before they changed it. So I got an adapter that I could put this on and still plug it in. And it works. Like, I walk around sometimes with this, and I have my phone in my pocket, and people look at me like I'm crazy. Especially like the younger kids, because they don't even know what this is. They're like, what is that? You know what I mean? So it's funny, man. How you been?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm back in California.
Yes, sir.
Still kind of recovering from it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it was a survival of the fittest, I think, is
Yeah.
to describe that. It's not just a ride out. It's an all day celebration. So, yeah, back in California, got a couple little rides out, back at work.
Yeah.
Excited to be on here, right? To see everybody. And I don't normally participate in this kind of thing, so it's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's
Yeah.
to share.
Hey, man. Well, I feel lucky to have you on. So let's get into some questions, man. Let's first start. Let's start for everybody that don't know your name. Let's
Okay.
start there, man. Introduce yourself. What is Dad Mode Willie Gang name?
Let's see. My name is Liam. I'm 47 this year. I've been riding since I was 45.
Yes, sir.
Online as Dad Mode Wheelie Gang. I'm a dad.
Right.
Proud to
So
be.
so how did the whole Dad Mode Willie Gang come about? Like where did that come from?
It started actually. I started riding with a different profile on Instagram, and I was a lot of riders, and I realized pretty quickly on within my first couple months of riding that there weren't a lot of resources for new riders, especially in my age group.
Right.
So I was, a dad. I was learning how to ride wheelies. It was 2020. I loved the community, but there weren't a lot of resources. So I was looking at YouTube. I was watching D-Block's videos, especially I was watching Easy Films videos. And I wanted to kind of get more involved, and I wanted to bridge a gap. As I was learning things, I wanted to be able to share that. So I started Dad Mode Wheelie Gang just kind of as a joke, right? I'm not a gang.
Yeah.
I'm here to share like positivity of bike life. I love that about bike life. I'm here to showcase the talent that I see in bike life because there's a lot of it.
A lot.
I love teaching tips and tricks, right? As I learn something, I like to show it. If I can't teach it, right? Or if I can't do it, I still want to be able to teach it.
Right.
And just to help steer the community also, because I see a lot of young people growing up and they get really into it. And then when life's responsibilities come and maybe they graduate high school, they kind of drift away, because life has other priorities when you're growing up, right? Maybe they get into the car scene, maybe they get into college, maybe they just get to work, right? And it changes their ability to ride as much as they did when they were youngsters. So just trying to help the community learn and grow, protect our community so we can continue to ride on the street and have fun like we do at the ride outs. I think these are all important factors that I want to be involved with.
Right. And I think that it is, man. And I honestly think, man, like you're doing a good job with it. Like I watch your videos all the time that you make, and they're funny as hell to me. They're also like informative at the same time. You know what I mean? Everything from like the wheelies to just fixing parts on the bike. Like there's a lot of kids out here that don't know how to fix a flat tire. They most definitely don't know how to patch one. Let alone just take the tube out and put a new tube in. You know what I mean? So I think these videos are crucial. And I be watching your stuff, and I be like, okay, I need to make me some videos like that, but I don't want to bite you too much. But
No.
I'm looking at him like, man, he's right. You know what I mean? We need to also inform as well as teach and have fun and do everything else that we do. So man, I'm just looking at the comments right now. It's all kinds of everything going on in the comments right now. I don't know if you can see them in the comments, but I can see it. So everybody, they out there, they're like, just say hi to me. So you got a lot of fans out here, man. They checking for you. They checking for
Nice.
you.
Thanks, everybody. I'm happy to try and help people. I think we come from different generations.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and my father taught me to be very self-sufficient with regards to fixing things. He was an engineer, so he saw things very logically, very mathematically, and if it was put together, we could figure out how to take it apart, right? And so we took apart more things than we put together.
Right.
But I ended up, I think, with the desire to learn to want to fix things. So my formal training was actually as a motor mechanic.
Oh, really? Okay.
by the time the 90s finished, I went to Phoenix, Arizona. I did a technical training program for, and uh, and so that consumed my life for a lot of years. And
Yeah.
and it carried over into bicycling, right? It's very simple for me to look at a bike and go, okay, this is how it goes together. This is how and why it works a certain way.
Right.
Challenge is really communicating those things simply to people so that, the regular person can go, oh, okay, now I understand how it goes, right? Uh,
Right.
can't get too complicated. So um, I love
And I think that for me, like I'm in that same age group as you. You know what I mean? I'll be 43 on the 23rd of this month, and I just remember as a kid, like I only had like one or two brand new bikes. You know
wow.
what I mean? The rest of my bike, we had parts. Like if this bike was broke and such had a bike that was down, but he had good forks and I had bad forks, like we swapped a lot of parts and we did our own work. You know, we learned how to break down a bike to everything, all the way down to just the parts. And literally, like when I was a kid, I remember I would get sandpaper and sand the bike down all the way to the raw metal, and then go get my spray paint it, flip it over, do the other side, grab the clear coat, spray. I mean, it was all makeshift, and it probably like now looking at it, I'm like, it probably looked horrible, but back then, like we didn't care. We just
Right.
wanted to ride. We just, as long as them two wheels had air in it, we were good. You know, so now like when I look at a lot of the young kids now, me being older, I'd be like, oh, I don't want no scratches on my bike. Remember I put on the post, I was like, my bike will be on the top with a blanket underneath. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I don't want my bike to have scratches because I grew up with scratch bikes. You know what I mean? I grew
Yep.
up with the beat up bikes. With we didn't service like the bike. We just rode them. Like the saying say, till the wheels fall off. That's how we treated our bikes. We literally rode them until the wheels just rolled off. You know, and then we're like, all right, we got to get some new wheels, slap them on, and we rolling again. But far as like breaking them down, cleaning this, doing repairs, we didn't do none of that, bro. None of that. So
I,
now, like that, I'm older, but I still understand my bike. I like taking it apart, cleaning everything down, and putting it back together, and just looking at the mechanics of it. Like to me, that's like a stress reliever. You know what I mean? So you know, well, what do you find like in this bike life? First of all, I just want to know like what do you love or like or love about just bike life in general? What is it that when you have that free moment to go do whatever it is, you choose to go hit the bikes?
well, I think there's two things uh, in particular, right? So that's a great question. First off, I think one, I love the control aspect, right? Teaching myself balance, teaching myself, how to do certain tricks. It just puts me in a different space where if I'm up on one wheel, uh, I'm focused on what I'm doing on the bike. And sure, I can daydream while I'm doing it now, but
Right,
when I was first learning it, it was everything, right? It was all
right.
like try and pop up, and I'm sweating and wobbling off to one side or the other, and falling on my ass. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when it so I love the focus that it gives me, and I love the control, like being able to know with confidence that I can do certain things and keep practicing. And the second thing I like about bike life, and maybe this is more the life part rather than the bike, is I think I love the diversity and the inclusion that I
Yeah,
see in the community.
yeah,
I've been involved with a lot of sports. I've had a big variety of careers. I know we talked about that in Santa Barbara.
yeah,
I, I've done a lot of things, and I have never seen a community that's this diverse, this loving with one another. We just want to see each other having fun.
yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what you're bringing to the table. Like if you're on like a thruster or a framed or a mongoose, whatever the bike is, when we're all together, that's the best. And
Yeah.
so that's the second thing that I love about bike life, and it might be the first thing actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Finding
I'm the same way, man. Like when I first got into this, pandemic had just hit,
hmm
and it was all on the news. Don't breathe the air; it's airborne, and everybody was like staying in the house. And me, I was always like, Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, I'm outside. So during the pandemic, like I was outside more
Mm-hmm.
than, before, like, because everything was like deserted. Like I literally rode my bike on the freeway. There was nobody on the freeway. So I was just riding on the freeway. Like I took advantage of it. I went snowboarding by myself. I walked up at Mountain High. I walked up the mountain and came back down. And then security finally came on there and was like, hey, you can't be out here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, get me then, you know what I mean? And it kept going. So we were outside, man. So, but for me, when I found out about it and I did the ride, like you say, I'm piggybacking, but it was the diversity. Like I saw all walks of life, and then like there's not really a place you can go to where you could connect with that many people and that many different generations all at once in the same setting. You know what I mean? It's
You,
not too many places.
yeah, it is. It is for all ages, right?
Yeah,
Guys like OG Darren. There's guys in their 60s and 70s that are out there.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
kids in 10 that are out there. So I think that's another phenomenal aspect. But I love what you said about the pandemic, right? That really, I think, pushed our sport to the next level because
yeah,
people had time, and we had that kind of emptiness where we were able to get out. It certainly helped me, right? The pandemic, in terms of not wasting 2 hours commuting back and forth to my office. All of a sudden, I was working from home. So when work finished at 5:30, right, I was out on the bike.
right. Yeah,
And my wife was great about it. She's like, he needs to go on his bike ride to clear his head. Otherwise, he's super grumpy.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man. So let me just do this real fast. Let me look at some of these comments. I don't want to leave out none of our viewers. I know we could have conversation all day, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure I engage with these guys as well. We got Fuck Jeremiah on here. He says, Dad Mode, did they see the video that you did with his transitions? You his dog. So Dad Mode is showing you love. He said, when's that next collab video with him? B.I. Chat. I'm like killing the name. He said, what's up? He's showing love. Somebody, Amy. Amy just bought her first Fast River, bro, at 57. Hey, hey, hey. And that's the bike to have. For me, like, it's so funny. Like, most people, when they get into the bikes, like, they start, like, on a Flyer or they start maybe, like, on a Big Ripper or something. I came into this on a Fast Ripper. And I remember it was hanging up at the bike shop. And I take that back. Well, no, I don't take that back. Because I bought, when the pandemic and all that stuff first started, I bought a GT.
Okay.
A Pro Series. It was hard, black and gold. I can't even find that bike now. I'm looking for one. Whoever out there got that GT 2019, 2020 black and gold with the sparkle flake gold with the tan and black tires, get at me. I need that bike back. I want it back. I'm going to post a picture of it later. I want that bike back. But yeah, I had that bike. And then when I did my first ride out, I actually had sold it and bought a Fast Ripper. And I just bought the Fast Ripper. I love red. So when I saw that Fast Ripper, the red and gold, like it touched my soul. Like it touched my heart. And it was just hanging up at Roy's. There was two of them side by side. And I was like, I gotta have it. And when I looked at the price tag, I was like, wait a minute, who in the hell is making this bike? Like it was $1,300. So, like, I was like, oh, man, but I went ahead and did it, and I got that Fast Ripper, and I had that bike for, like, a good 2 months, and I just decided it was too nice. I was like, I can't have it. It's way too nice. I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to scratch it, so I got rid of it. And I did a trade with Joe Buckmo. We met at a gas station at, like, 3 in the morning. And we did a trade. I took his Monster Quad because it was silver. It's the same bike as yours.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was the silver one. And I was like, all right, I can really like get on this. The scratches you can't tell because it's like a brushed nickel. You know what I mean? So I didn't mind it. And I was tearing that up. And then it's so funny. I wanted to do a trade again. And this guy on OfferUp hit me up again. We talked and we met up again. And it was Joe Buckmo again. You know what I mean? So it was funny because time passed by and we was like, wait, don't we know each other? Didn't we? You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, we did another bike like several months back. And then finally, I found out that his sister did the gloves. And then we met at a ride out. We were like, wait, didn't we do like another thing? Yeah, it was just funny, man. You bump into the same people, you know? So it was cool, man. Let's see, what else we got in here? Somebody said the audio's gone. I don't remember that, but if
Yeah.
it is, it's back.
Great.
Yes, and I'm bad with these names, man, but Jaden Ramy 38. They say, "What's up, Dad Mode?" Feather, Phila Nomad. I dream of the Monster Quad. All right,
They're
cruising and bruising. We outside. Okay,
they're
okay.
Stockton's bike life soon to be. He's been around. Joins us, at the I guess the start of some of the ride outs that Damon throws. So
Oh, okay. So
Errol
he's
is
from North Cal.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay, okay, North Cal in the building. Hey, you know what? In the comments, drop your city real fast. Let's see where's everybody from. Drop your city in the comment. I want to know where we getting all this love from. Dad mode, gangster. Okay, hey, I see my wife in here. Okay, baby. Hey, I see you, baby. Okay, baby, looking at me while I'm looking at you. Yes,
hey,
sir.
Krika, these are carbon brake rotors from the Grand Prix bikes. So they're
Oh,
not
really?
flywheels. I mounted them to my wall. They weigh nothing. And that is 16 and a half by 4-inch front wheel magnesium. Also what you get off a Grand Prix racing motorcycle. So that's some of my old race history is on the wall over there. And then,
Now, did you actually race or like you was the engineer building?
yeah, I was on the engineering side. So I did chat
Oh, okay.
and logistics parts manager for Ducati for a number of
Oh,
years.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
almost bought a Ducati back in my motorcycle days, man. I almost bought me a Ducati, but everybody was like, "Nah, don't get it. It's a French bike, you know." And it was like, "Or Italian bike."
German.
It's like, "Don't get it, don't get it." They talked me into the KTM RC8.
Oh, very
That
nice.
was my dream bike, bro. That was my dream bike. I had a Yamaha 650, and then I had my I had a Suzuki 650, and then I had a Yamaha 1000, my R1 Raven. It was like a 2005, that
Yep.
black on red.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was a beast, bro. It was a beast.
Hey,
I love that. And then after that, I still had the two, and I bought myself a Harley. I had a Electric Glide.
oh, all right.
So yeah, man. So it was a time when this was before I had kids. I was on bikes like heavy. I grew up on bikes. So I grew up at the age of 5, racing quads and stuff like that. Back in the day, man. Yeah, it circles right back around. You know, and here it is. You know, 2023 about to be, and we still on bikes. You know what I mean? You know. And I keep telling myself when my kids get a little bit older, I'm gonna get back on the motorcycle just to have. But I got a newborn on the way, so that's being pushed a little bit further now. So yeah, man. But
Look at
it's all good. We're gonna get back on it. And let's see, who else is in here? Where? Amy got the new mic buff. I see you, Amy. Okay, okay. We'll work for the Monster Quad. That's funny. Oh man, all love. Okay, there we go. Bay Area. Okay, South Sacramento in here. Apple Valley, Stockton, Hawaii. Okay, Hawaii, stand up. Hawaii's in the building. Yes. Hayward up in here. EPA. Where's EPA?
That's East Palo Alto, right?
Is that what that is? Okay. It's Hot Boys Worldwide. So okay, so yeah, that would be okay. Sac is in the building.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody said brake rotors. Let's see. Oh, hey, my boy is all the way from Colombia in here.
Yep.
Sticker tuning BTA, man. He does all of our stickers.
Okay.
Again, sticker tuning BTA. If y'all need the stickers, he does great work. Great work, and he's quick. Like he did our stickers and got them to us quick, and he's in Colombia. Got them to us faster than like most places like around the corner. You know what I mean? So sticker tuning BTA, man. If y'all need them stickers, shout out. And then also a quick little shout out to our sponsor, Don's. They always holding us down every time we do our rides. We do our team rides. We did bikes and bodybuilding down at the beach. Don's come out and they support, bro. This is our bike shop we repping. They out of Rialto. They got more than one location. If you guys need anything and don't have a bike home, choose Don's. They the one. They legit. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. This is the Don's trucker hat. You know what I mean? I put the trucker hat on because I didn't shave yet, so I'm looking all scruffy. So I was feeling real trucker-like tonight. So I said, let me put the trucker hat on tonight. But yeah, man. And Don's is like that place, like what was that TV show? Was it You Wanna Go, or Where Everybody Knows Your Name? What was it?
Cheers.
Cheers. Don's is like Cheers. When I walk in there, they're like, hey, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you feel the love. I go to some bike shops that I've been going to like for a long time, and they're just like
most of them.
Yeah, they show you no love, man. So I go to where I get the love back. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, okay. Look, here's a question out here: Big Ripper versus Fast Ripper, pros and cons. You want to take a shot at that?
Sure.
Go for it.
Up to you. So I'm going to give it to the Big Ripper over the Fast Ripper just because I like simplicity.
Okay.
And I like the geometry that you get out of the Big Ripper more as the front end, because it's got extra bearings on the. So the front end to me is like 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch taller. Big Ripper versus Fast Ripper, which has those internal bearings in the head, and it's a shorter front end. So the second reason is I have a Fast Ripper, and I've wheelied that thing at 35 miles an hour. Right, I've got GPS on it. I want to actually get it to 40, but I'm not fit enough to put that far yet. I don't like changing gears and like having the noise of the derailleur when for some reason that I lose the simplicity of like just the freedom of, oh, I'm just out here on my bicycle.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I still choose the Fast Ripper just because I like I like having the gears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like, where I live at, it's a lot of hills.
Right.
So I like, if I want to just cruise, I can. And if I want to put a little work in, I can. But you're right. At that same time, you're popping gears. You got the disc brake that if you hit it too hard, that one little notch throws it off and it's rubbing. Okay. Like, you got to always constantly tune it. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that one, man. Somebody said PK Ripper versus the Fat Quad. That's a good one because they're almost identical.
Yeah, specs wise, they're very close. The Fat Quad has kind of a lower
on the seat post part.
Yeah. So if you're a smaller rider, it's easier to get your leg over the frame.
Okay.
So that might be one reason. But both bikes, you see a lot of the combo kids learning the cheat code because you have such a wide tire. It's a stable platform.
Yeah.
Both of them, I mean, like you said, they're almost identical specs wise, but I think I like the color scheme of the PK when it was the silver frame. I know, like the yellow frame with the red tires, and I'm like, that's the colors right. Ronald McDonald looking bike. I think that's why I really like the silver. In fact, I think all the bikes should be silver. Like, polish them right out of the factory, clear anodize them, and then spit them out. And then people can color them however they want. But I love silver bikes.
Yeah,
I love the welds.
Yeah. I think that's why I like that Monster Quad so much. I just happened to see somebody. My son's going crazy over here. Hey, keep it down over there, sir. Over here watching TV. I saw somebody riding that Monster Quad, and like you say, it just looks so beefy. The welds look extra strong, and I'm a heavy dude. Like, at that point, I was like 270. Okay. I've been working out lately. I don't drop about 20 pounds, so I'm happy about that. Give it up for that. We still working. But when I saw that bike, I felt like it would just hold me. You know what I mean? With no problems, and I could just do everything on that bike, and it did. You know what I mean? And I kind of regret getting rid of it, but I mean, who knows? I'll probably circle back around. I'm trying to think.
I think they're getting cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. The market is crazy right now. So it may circle back around. We'll see.
I hope
so. And then go for it. I got a question for you that's coming from the comments here from Tyrone. How long did it take you to get your wheelies down to where, like, you felt comfortable? You know what I mean? Like, all right, I could do this at the ride house, no problems.
Let's see. I think I was popping it up consistently after about 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah,
2 weeks?
I didn't have much distance. right? I just had mastered like popping it up and hitting the brake, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I was learning balance. So before I was really confident, it took me about 4 months, and I set a goal for myself. When I started to wheelie, it was how many parking spaces can I go past, right? And I
Yeah.
would count them every day, and then once I could do 20 parking spaces, 25 parking spaces, I started to time myself. Can I go for 20 seconds? Can I go for 30 seconds? And my goal was a minute. Um,
Right.
and when you're older, I think people don't realize how much fitness you need to wheelie for a minute straight. It
Yeah.
takes a lot out
A
of you.
lot. It's a lot of core.
Yeah,
A
it's a
lot
lot.
of core.
So that took me 4 months
Okay.
uh, of riding almost daily before I could wheelie for a minute.
Yeah, that's about right. I got my son, I taught my son how to wheelie, and it took about a good 6 months to where he was just on it, like zero knowledge of wheeling. And I taught him because a lot of people are like, how come you don't wheelie? And I'm like, I just choose not to. I know how to wheelie. I taught my son how to wheelie. So I know how to do it. I was doing it when I was younger. I was doing it on motorcycles. So I know how to, I just don't do it because I'm afraid of falling back.
Yep.
So I could get the bike up, like people that ride with me, like on small rides. I'll pop the bike up and hold it for like a second and bring it back down. So I know how to get it up, but just holding it, that's another problem. But you think like how I think, because that's the way I would process learning how to wheelie. I would give myself markers. You know what I mean? Okay, I want to do from. And that's basically how I taught myself how to snowboard. I would go side to side, and I'd be like, okay, now I want to go 20 seconds side to side, from mountain to mountain, from side to side. Then I was like, okay, let's bring that down to 10 seconds going side to side. You know, and then you start cutting a little bit. Then I brought it down to 5 seconds side to side and chop it. And now it's just chop, 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 chop. I could just burn the mountain up, no problem. But that took me like 3 seasons. So yeah, your concept is exactly how I think when I think about okay, distance and how to break it down. I break it down the same way how you said. You know what I mean? I would do parking lines to the next line, then maybe the next three lines, and go like that, or count the seconds and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So what's your favorite bike, by the way?
Man, that's a tough one. I love the Monster Quad for the same reasons you described, right? It's a strong bike. It can handle
Yeah,
a weight. The plus size tires are really comfortable and cushy. So when you jump curbs or hit potholes, it's very nice. Um, what I'm struggling with right now is I think I like the stability of the bike, but I'm starting to veer more towards handling, like quick, nimble handling. So I
hmm.
think I'm going to move back to a big ripper at some point.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Like I remember it took me over a year before I got a big ripper because of the supply chain shortages
yeah,
and
yeah,
bikes so hard to come by in 2020 that it really felt special when I got that
yeah,
ripper. I
yeah,
put it together and I rode it, and I just, even though it was bone stock, I just remember thinking, wow, this feels really special. I loved how thin the top tube was.
yeah,
Um, and it just made me feel like I was a better rider. It gave me
yeah,
some confidence. And then I moved on because I like disc brakes more than cable brakes. That
yeah,
was the thing that I learned, and that could just be age, right?
yeah,
It's consistent. And maybe I don't have the forearm strength that I used to.
yeah.
Um, so I keep moving to things that are easier, but I need to get back into things that are more difficult so that it pushes improve.
Right, right. Push you to
Right.
that next level. Yeah,
Yep. You get
yeah.
too comfortable. When you're too comfortable, there's no growth.
Right. No, you have that, man. That's a good one. Yeah, that's absolutely right. When you get comfortable, there is no growth. It's time for something else. I feel you on that because,
Yep.
like I said, when I had the Monster Quad, you could feel the weight of it. Like it
Yeah.
is a heavy bike, and
Yeah.
that Big Ripper just feels so much easier, simple, and I like the V clamp brakes on it because after a while, when you have all your bikes are all disc brakes, like it's time consuming working on those brakes. Like people have no idea. And I do all my work. Like everything that I could do, I do it myself. The only time I go to a shop is if like it's a tool that I don't have, like a bottom bracket tool
Right.
to loosen that. That's pretty much the only time or if I'm just feeling lazy, I'll go and be like, hey, can you do this real quick? But for the most part, man, I do my own braking. I bleed my own brakes. I do my own gearing and everything on my fast ripper. I could break the bike completely down and rebuild it. I swap stuff all the time. So, I like the, I'm like my own little bike shop, you know. But
As we
that
should.
big ripper, like you say, it feels so simple, you know what I mean? And it's just a comfy ride. So I'm enjoying it, man. I appreciate you, Bible. Bible said he liked the hat. Appreciate you, Bible.
Nice.
And I have one more question for you before we get into like the meat and potatoes of this. So with Dad Mo Wheelie Gang, where do you see that in 5 years? Do you see this becoming like more like a brand, or do you like I know you got some merch, and you know, so what? Tell me about it. Like in the next 5 years, where is Dad Mo going?
So that's good. I like to think in terms of 1, 3, and 5 year plans.
Yeah,
No, I have to do that for work, so
yeah,
it's think about it with my hobbies.
yeah.
Uh, One, I want to keep developing my skills and keep teaching. I think that's going to be one of my focus points. You know, I obviously I can't make teaching videos every week. It's very
Yeah.
time consuming, and there's not a ton of subject matter, right? So I want to be very careful about what I try to show. I'd love to get into kind of coaching, as it were, you know, helping people develop their own skill set, whether it's fitness or, you know, skills on the bike. And the second thing I think I'd like to do is continue to do product reviews, whether it's you know,
Yeah.
things about the bike that I can pick up and notice, because I can tell little differences from my motorcycle days. When something was 5 millimeters or 10 millimeters different on a foot peg, I would know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just I think about things maybe a bit too much. I guess I'd like to develop product of my own. Um, you know, I think about different types of riding apparel that might help new riders, protective gear, things that, you know, I'd like to see, I wish was in the market, but I don't really have the manufacturing experience to make just yet.
Yeah.
And then things that are a little outside the box, right? I like the Big Ripper, but I have a water bottle mount. Same with the Monster.
Yeah. Like simple things.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
ah,
You know, I'm gonna call Todd. I'm gonna call Todd. I'm gonna be like, look, Todd,
I asked
big
him,
ripper, water bottle mount, make it happen.
I said, put some water bottle mounts on it, and they're like, that's not BMX. And I'm like,
I'm
yeah,
like, it's on the fast ripper. Like, why not?
because that's
You
a
know?
with a handlebar.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I like.
That's funny. So, and then I think I had the last one for you was bucket list talk. So I
Mm.
know you get around everywhere, but is there like one place where you like, this is my bucket list ride or ride destination? Like, where would that be?
We got to ride. We got to do a ride out in Tokyo.
Oh, bro,
Yeah. Now,
bro,
because
that would be so crazy.
when I think about it, right, I've been to a lot of the major cities across the planet, um, and they're much like New York has its own energy, and it's so big and sprawling and tall, and it's got
Yeah,
so much amazing energy. I think Tokyo is like that as well, and they've got distinct districts, and they've got lights at night,
yeah,
Ginza, and
yeah.
it's a fascinating culture that I think would be blown away seeing a bike life ride out
That
into.
would be bananas. Like, oh my goodness. I
And then
would be down for that. Tokyo would be like, that would be crazy.
uh,
I wonder if Ty got a Tokyo Ripper coming. You know what I mean? I told him a long time ago he need to just show some love and make a China Ripper. I mean, all the bikes is coming from there anyway, or Taiwan, right? Like I think the
and now
bikes
I
are
will.
made in Taiwan. So a Taiwan Ripper, a Thai Ripper. You know what I mean? Call it a Thai Rip, something like that. I don't know.
If they were selling there, then I'm certain of it. I think
Yeah,
another one that could be possible is renting a van and just doing a tour through several cities in Europe,
yeah,
because I think a lot of people don't know the size of that continent. But
yeah.
it's moved from one country to the next. You could spend 2 days here, 2 days there, you know, and you could easily start in Amsterdam, go to Paris, and then go up through Germany and loop down into Italy. And you know, it would be very nice to put together a 2 or 3 week tour in the summer to just rock through Europe, because they've got so much great architecture. It'd be a beautiful backdrop for the types of tricks that we do in the street or on
Right,
stairs.
right.
Just a good blend of old, you know, modern and very old
Yeah, yeah.
in
I
Europe.
wonder, like, I don't know. I just feel like I wonder how you probably have to talk with like the city officials and stuff, because I can see once we get out there, like most of the rides you just pop up and go. You know what I mean? But in some countries you can't just do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you might get stoned. You know, So I feel
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the? It would be like a movie. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You know what I mean? We just pop up and a thousand riders out there just going for it. Like, like what would that be like? That would be crazy.
Rock.
Hey,
And I,
I think if anybody could pull it off, I think you could pull it off, man. I think you got the backing to where if you told everybody like we headed to Tokyo on this day, I guarantee a lot of people would show up.
it'd
Guarantee
be fantastic. And
you. Yeah,
I'm going to try and make something happen.
man. Keep me posted. Keep me posted.
Sure.
And then I think, let me see, we're gonna run back through here. Who else is on here? How often? Okay, you got one more question from Time Shell Shock. How often should you bleed your hydraulic brakes? Excuse me. That I think that's subjective to like based on your riding. But if you're just going by time, I'm thinking like 3 months.
Yeah, I might even be worse at it than that.
Yeah.
But with the Magura hydraulics, I was bleeding them more frequently than 3 months, right? And that was
Okay.
B brake. On the Shimano's that I'm using now, I'm probably doing it every 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
What Shimano's are you running?
I'm using the Shimano Dior XT.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got those ones too. I got the Shimano Dior's, the XTs. I've ran SRAM, a lot of SRAMs. I had SRAM Code. I have SRAM Level TLs right now,
Okay.
which I'm actually I like them because they're a lot more spongy and you can really use one finger on them.
Okay.
So I like that. And the mount is a lot. The mount goes away from the bike, so it's not like right on it to where it's like right here. It gives you the distance where you can still get a good grip on it. So I like that. I'm a big fan of the SRAM brakes, but the codes were really nice. They were a 4-piston downhill brake, and I had those on my last Fast Ripper. But you talking about stopping on a dime? Yeah, those codes they were it. The stopping power was there. But yeah, I like the Dior's. I got those on my downhill mountain bike right now. So it's full Dior, everything. Everything from the derailleur is a full Shimano drivetrain, and with the Shimano brakes, it all matches, all Dior. So I like that a lot, and it has the lockout on the derailleur. Have you seen those?
No.
Yeah, it has a lockout because you know when you're like say you're going like on some type of gravel and the chain top and bottom it wiggles.
Yeah.
Well, this one has a lockout on the bottom, so it keeps the tension on the derailleur, so your chain doesn't wiggle. It's pretty dope, and it's on the Shimano, so I have that as well. And then pretty soon I'm gonna be installing my Bluetooth. I got a Bluetooth SRAM, 12 speed that I'll be installing. It's a X01 SRAM. So it's gonna be nice. Wide cage, 12 speed is coming. It's coming.
My buddy just pointed out the wireless dropper post now.
Ooh, okay.
But
Yeah.
trigger for a dropper seat post.
Yeah, it's got a spot for that on there too. Yep, it's got a spot on there too. And let's see who else we got up in here real fast because I want to move on to Ebro in a cool minute. So let me just run through here. Oh, we got Angie Stunt. Okay, Angie Stunt all the way from Colombia, I believe. Yeah, Angie Stunt is out here. I see my boy Josh Mathers out here. All right. Bluetooth, please do not forget to change it or you'll get stuck. Yeah, I know the Bluetooth. You gotta have an extra battery. So the good thing with the Bluetooth is if you do run out of battery, there is a little push button on the bottom of the derailleur to where you can get to that second gear and the first two gears. You'll still be able to get to it.
Okay.
And then if you do run a electronic C post, you're not using as much battery on that C post where you could take that battery from there and put it into the other one and then just put the dead battery back in the C post and then you'll still have good charge because the C posts don't take a lot of battery, but it'll go for months before you have to change. Because I've had my derailleur system now for some months now, and every time I go out there, I'll start playing with it, and it moves. So yeah, that battery is good. It lasts. So yeah, somebody just said that. So let's see. Any more questions up in here? Wow, man, somebody's from India up in the house. Okay.
Dang.
Ain't it like a whole nother day? Like, ain't it daytime out there?
13 and a half hours different from us. Pacific.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, the sun is the sun is already coming back up.
Yep.
And who is it? This guy Josh said, "I want a wheelie with no back tire. I want to see that. Please record it. I want to see the sparks flying." So yeah, man. So look, all right, we done ran through all these good questions, and shout out to everybody with all the questions. Oh, you know what? We're gonna shoot one more because I feel like this one is important. I get hit with this one all the time. Time shell shock. He got some good questions, man. So what's your take on it? Are you more of a two piston or a four piston brake man?
Two piston.
Two piston? Okay, I thought you were gonna hit me with the four. Okay. I like the four just because I like overkill. That's just me.
I'm a guy because I think we want to try and replicate the feel of V brakes.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't need overkill to do wheelies. Right. Because it's
true.
Just the lightest touch. I don't want that front end to come slamming down. I need relation. You need to be able to, tap it and kind of more or less. So I'm sticking with the two piston for now. I have the four piston. Just like you, I went for overkill. I said, I'm going to get the four piston Dior and let me put it on a bigger rotor.
Yeah.
It's a bit too sensitive now. So
okay. What size rotor did you go with?
Just a 180.
Oh, okay. I got 180s and I got 200s.
The 203s?
Mm-hmm.
Big dogs.
Yeah, I got the 203s and I got 180s, and then I have the standards on one of the other bikes. But yeah, I got all three of them. But I'm mainly looking at it from a speed perspective versus a wheelie perspective. And I think that's the most important thing, because like all these questions are all subjective to what you're doing specifically. Yep. So we could say what we like, but if you're not doing wheelies and you're doing more speed things, then you might want to try a four piston. But if you're doing more wheelies and you're comboing and stuff where you got that front wheel up, you want to look at maybe like a two piston, because like you said, the trigger might be too sensitive and drop you back down. So it's all based on what that specific rider is doing. And that's the good thing about what Dad Mode is doing, you guys. Dad Mode is out here giving you that information. So if you're doing wheelies and all that stuff, he's breaking it down to you like this works best on it, or this is a better buy, this is a bang for your buck on this particular brake right here. So I think that if you guys really like lock in to the information that he's given, you'll be able to get that information on that specific product to say, okay, I think that will work for the style of riding that I'm doing, I
think I know where Tim is going with a lot of these questions around brakes.
Yeah.
Tim, if you want the 12 o'clock or the hand drag, stay on the V brake. I think the feedback that I'm getting from other riders, and I literally just talked to No Block CJ about this last week, and another guy named Ayuba. We were in Harlem. They were busting 12 o'clocks, right on the sidewalk while we were waiting around for somebody. They can't do it. They say they can't do it on disc brakes, but they're very comfortable doing it on V brake.
Yeah.
So I think that's that sensitivity and feel where you can just exploit the stretch of the cable and just understand the way the bike is working with the rim brake versus the disc brake. So that might be something to think about.
Yeah, I think so too. What about with, all right, okay, look, we got Jacob Santos in the building. Said Dad Mode freaking Willie gang, what's going on? Ty Shellshock said he also has that 180 rotor with the stock Tektros. I think that's a good setup. 180 with the Tektros, the stock Tektros. That's not like a big, yeah. That's only one size up. So you still good. You still good. Yeah, you still good. And then let's see. I'm looking at the time. All right, man. All right, look. With no further ado, let's get into it. I want to make sure I acknowledge everybody that was in the comments and dropping these questions, because that's what we're doing this for. We doing this to give Dad Mode Willie Gang personally his flowers for always being out here making good content. And then we also want to bring the information to everybody. So everybody who is not watching it on his page may have seen it on my page and vice versa. So we just want to make sure that we acknowledge everybody that's dropping in on here as well. But let's get into Ebro, man. Let's get into Ebro. Like, I'm gonna be quiet. I just want you. Yeah, he got the shirt and everything, man. He got the shirt and everything. Damn it. I
Gotta
was
get
supposed to go, man, but then I found out. I didn't look at the calendar, but then when I found out it was on a Sunday, it kind of threw everything off because I was like, oh man, like I gotta get back. I gotta get the kids school. Then I was gonna take my oldest with me, and I was like, that's gonna mess up like the school thing. I really thought it was on a Saturday, but it just threw it off. So I was like, all right, I didn't check the date as well as I should have. But next year I'm out there for sure. I'm making my preparations. I'm gonna be out there for sure. But just tell me about your full experience at Ebro. What was it like? Like, what did it smell like? I haven't been to New York in some years, but I still remember the smell of when I was out there. I was on foot, and I used to be a train conductor back in the day. So I did train conductor training in Newark, Delaware, but I had to go to New York to do my training. It was in the wintertime. And I traveled everywhere I was there. I made a lot of good friends while I was there. And I love New York. I love the smell of it. I didn't really like so much the people's attitude. They're a little rude, but that's New York. You know, you walking down the street, somebody will like bump your shoulder and won't even look back and say like, excuse me. Like they just keep going. That's New York, you know, but the food was good. The weather for, you know, how cold it was, it still felt good to me just to be in something different. And plus I love snow. So I'm not afraid of the cold. Like I go all the time. So it was just nice. But give me your take on what was Ebro like? Like describe it, man. I'm a hush.
All right. So Ebro, and I'm still processing it.
Yeah.
Ebro is an adventure. I think we're used to thinking of rideouts in terms of like, oh, it's going to go from 12 to 4, 12 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact that this was in New York City and a lot of us had to travel in, you know, different states, it became more of like, this is Ebro weekend.
Right, right.
It started on Thursday. I had a 5:30 flight out of Oakland. So that meant I had to get to the airport, you know, leave my house at 3 something in the morning. And my wife was gracious enough to drive me. I ended up pulling an all-nighter that night because I was packing. I had to work late, and so it was a tough morning to get on the flights.
Yeah.
Out there, and you spend the whole day traveling, right? Even if you have a flight, because of the time difference, right? The additional 3 hours you're going to add to the watch when you go West Coast, it is a full day of traveling to get there. I was super lucky and thankful to D Blocks and the rest of the crew that was out in Harlem. They, you know, helped me figure out where to ride, showed me a lot of the local sites, some of the spots, and for me it was it helped me understand more about how bike life developed from the East Coast, where it started, learn more about who are the and what are the types of riders, and I think how the city really helps and impacts their development as riders.
Yeah.
Right. Not as casual as Southern California. We get to ride at the beach.
Right, right.
Weekend thing is very light and casual. We don't have the same hardness of streets out here that they do. So there are different reasons for riding, and that development of the rider and the scene, right? So the scene is different. I'm going to follow along that and say, you know, the streets are hard. The ride was hard. I mean, I remember waking up that morning and, you know, I packed up my gear. I thought, okay, I get a couple of water bottles. This is going to be great. I know people from all over the country that have come to Ebro. And next thing I know, like I'm sweating like a dog and I'm riding and I'm out of breath. And I look at my watch. I'm thinking, God, we've got to have been going for hours. And we were only a half into it. And I just remember, holy shit, this is kicking my ass. I had never felt as out of shape as I did on that ride.
Damn it.
Combination of the heat. I went through nearly 5 liters of water that day.
Wow.
And I didn't think that I could drink that much water and not even eat. So that's how much I was sweating, right? My shoes were wet.
Damn.
My pants were wet. Like I just felt like I was sweating constantly because we move at a very fast pace. And that's New York, right? They walk twice as fast as we do on the West Coast, just walking down the sidewalk. Right? They turn around and look back. We never really pause for stoplights, ever. The whole week. They don't, right? They have the right of way. They don't, but they filter. And between the elevation that we had, and there's just so much excitement from the large group of riders that the next thing you know, you're just constantly on the move, and you're moving at a good pace. And yeah, it was exhausting. So I remember thinking, God, I just hope I survive this day. And that's part of the charm also, is that riders would join the ride. You could just look up in the sky and you'd see the police helicopter following us. So that's where you knew what the ride out was. But people would join throughout the day, and then they would splinter off, right?
Yeah.
Take little groups with them, and they'd go and eat, or they'd go and rest. Then they'd try and link back up with us as we were crisscrossing throughout Manhattan. We covered, I think, 3 or 4 of the boroughs.
Oh my God.
And we did 65 miles. And I would say that of the riders that started, you know, the old adage is that many can start, and few, I think I counted, you know, 20 of us at the very end of the night, sitting in the park eating. You know,
yeah, I saw the video. Yeah.
So to say that there were hundreds and thousands of riders at each point, that was fantastic. Sorry, getting rid of a text message. But yeah, to be able to survive that ride and make it to the finish, I think was a real testament. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I didn't walk, but I was feeling it for the next week. Even now, I'm like, ooh, my knees are still, my knees.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of ride where, unless you're planning to only do part of it, you can't do tricks the entire day. I just think it's very different. You know, so you got to kind of pick your moments when you're going to do stuff. I'm guilty. I wormed out a couple of times, so apologies to anybody that. I know I kind of veered off to the side and got into it with another rider, so apologies to anybody there. But I had a great time, and there's nothing else like it. And I think the underground aspect of it, it's a little counterculture. There's punk rock aspects to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a street ride.
Yeah.
It's not a tour or a parade.
Right.
And now I understand, right? I mean, the reason why I went out there is D-Blocks was like, hey, you want to see what a real ride out's like? Like, you don't understand how we do it for ePro.
Yeah.
Well, I want to understand it. And yeah, I mean, it's like nothing else. You gotta be in shape. You gotta prepare. You gotta know your limits, and have a support group with you, I think, is another important thing, right? At least where if one of you needs to drop back, you got somebody that can watch your bike. You got somebody that can help share the load of like food, tools, water, that kind of thing. Because getting stranded with a flat tire could have been bad for some folks. And I know we had drop-offs because of, you know, mechanicals and whatnot. So,
right. But the ride never stops, right?
The
ride just goes.
Yeah, for the most part, it just goes, and it's one of the times we stopped, we actually didn't get much of a break because the police ended up chasing the group and funneling us. All of a sudden, right, there's a huge scattering of the pack, like go, 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 move, move, and cops are coming in different intersections, and they're just flying in at us, right? So it was very clear you couldn't like veer off onto the side streets. You got funneled in, and I kept thinking, oh, they're herding us the same way we herd cattle. Fortunately, we are more maneuverable, and we managed to kind of stay clear of some of the trouble. But yeah, that was kind of wild to see. I haven't seen police activity like that with a large ride out before. So that's New York, right? And I think the other thing to mention, what makes ePro so special, is the fact that New York is a unique, one-of-a-kind city. Right? People sitting outside at night playing different kinds of music on every street corner, right? People grilling in the street. There's just so much life.
Yeah. It's like a block party on every block.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then you bring in the bikes, right? The bikes plus that life is it's an explosion of color and sensation that just is hard to describe to people that haven't done it, right? And I New York with my family, we did the touristy stuff. We went to Grand Central Station, walked around. It's nothing like seeing and smelling the city on a bike.
Yeah.
So if you can,
and that's what I was really looking forward to, was going just to see the city from the bike angle. Because when I was there, I saw it. I was on trains, so we were underground most times. And then when we were above ground, we were like high elevation on trains passing through. So you don't really get to see. I saw the back of a lot of cities, not so much like inside. That was the main thing I was looking for. But I knew the people, like, you know, you get past the hard shell of some of the people out there. They're so nice. Like, I got a lot of good buddies that I made when I was in conductor school out there that, you know, had just met me while I was there and was like, hey, come to my house. Like, my family's having dinner, you know what I mean? Because they were local going to school, and I'm at like a hotel, you know, and they're like, yeah, no, come, you know, come to dinner. You know, New York was one of the first places where I went to a club, and the club let out at like 10 in the morning. And I was like, ooh, this is unheard of. Like, you know, normally a club out here, you're done at like 2, you know, 2:30. But I was with my buddy. We didn't go until like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I was like, bro, I'm like, we got to go. It's going to end. He's like, calm down. It's not going to end, man. And then when you get in there, you're like, can we leave? Like, when is it going to end? You know, then you walk outside and the sun is up. And you're like, this is crazy. Like, I had only seen that in Chicago one time, and I saw it in New York the rest, and I was like just blown away. But the people are just, like you say, it's a block party on every corner, you know. And like I say, when you get past that hard shell, because it's abrasive out there, you know.
Yeah.
And once you get past that and you sit down and you talk to people, they're some of the nicest people, you know, you'll ever meet. But they're genuine, you know what I mean? Their yes is a yes and their no is a no. You know, the no is a hard no, you know?
I met people that I've only listened to, you know, for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So spending time with like Race Life BMX
Yeah.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
Right? Time I was like, am I meeting the right guy? And, you know, because it was at night, and then we spent more time together, and you know, you hear his voice like in my mind when I watch other riders. I'm like, yo, why he bugging? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, you know, he's one of the voices of this bike life generation, right? I think, I hope that he's able to promote more and do more things with his voice and his activity. So any video makers out there, get in touch with him, because that's the guy you want doing your audio track for your bike life video game.
Right. Yeah, man. It's just, New York is just a whole, it's just a whole vibe. Like, I know they do ride outs every now and then, but Ebro is like that one. You know, if you don't go to nothing else, go to the Ebro ride. I would like to see, I know we've done it out here a couple times, like with the 3-day ride outs. And I know they did like some of the bigger ride outs up north, but I would really like to see, and maybe I just missed it, but where all the cities like West Coast come together and just do one big ride. I would really like to see something like that.
I think part of the ability of New York to host Ebro is the fact that the city is so big.
Yeah.
I don't think we could get, you know, maybe the Bay Area we could loop right and go from like Oakland, San Francisco, loop down through San Jose, right? That was more of like a tour.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the things that makes Ebro what it is that it's got the 5 boroughs, it's got the bridges, it has spectacular views that you won't get anywhere else.
Right.
That's pretty magic. Do a big West Coast ride that's similar. I think we'd lose a lot of riders from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, true. True. Now, if I remember correctly, a lot of Manhattan is flat.
Hillier,
except for like the bridges and stuff like that. But for the most part, like, isn't like Manhattan pretty much like a flat ground?
Down area. I mean, if you can imagine looping through Central Park and the hills in Central Park.
Yeah.
Take Central Park and then expand it, right? If you go north above Central Park, there's a lot of hills. And,
really? Okay.
Quite a few of them. And if you go over the bridges, you do get elevation changes there. I guess to put it into context, day one of the SoCal 3-day ride sees us doing about 1,000 feet of elevation changes. Mm-hmm. And I think on Ebro, I tracked us at about 1,600 feet of elevation on the one. So it's 160% more day one. Just from an elevation perspective.
So Ebro is like doing a 3-day ride out in one day.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty much. You know what I mean? At least like day 2 and 3.
Or day 1 and 2 combined.
Yeah, day 1 and 2. Yeah, I said day 2 and 3 because that's where you hit all them hills. Like LA was more of a flatter area, but I mean that wind, when that wind hits you, it feels like hills, you know. But yeah, for sure, like 1 and 2 all in one day. Man,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
and
I would most definitely be on the fast ripper. I ain't even gonna lie.
a lot of them actually. I mean, Vibe with David was out on his. There were, I mean, more people show up than. I mean, it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
All the variety of riders that came out, and
Yeah.
like, they were very polite. I think there was a lot of good energy with everyone there at Ebro. It wasn't like different groups and factions. I think, you know, that's one of the differences that we see in the West Coast rideouts. You've got this group, they're going to wear got this group, and they're going to wear their jerseys, and they kind of ride together, right, through the rideout. Whereas Ebro was just like a school of fish, and everybody's going. If you could, you made it to the front. If you just wanted to do combos, you kind of hung back, and you'd only see people once.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him, and then he's gone. I never saw him again.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like a treasure hunt. Every corner you turned in the rideout, you would run into somebody and go, "Oh my God, it's this guy! Oh my God, it's this girl!"
Yeah.
You know, I had a great conversation with One Way Erisa while we were on the bridge, and it's just amazing to meet her and her father and see, you know, some of their evaluation of different bike brands and what they enjoy riding, and you know, you wouldn't have these conversations normally. It's hard to start them, you know, over Instagram or just over, you know, as a stranger. But when you're out riding together, I mean, it's a magical thing.
Yeah. I guarantee you that probably would have been my take. Like I would see probably one person at one time and never see. I would have started in the front and then slowly drifted all the way to the back, and then probably was like, "All right, time to go eat."
It was
now. Okay, so let me ask you this: from your knowledge, did you see like any type of like logistics, or like is this like in somebody's head that one person like? Because when you say like people falling off and getting tired, like does one person have the route? Like is D Blocks the only leader of this route? And like I'm sure D Blocks pushed the whole route and probably never would have stopped, never would have drank water or anything. Just a whole different animal. But is that who's leading the ride? Just
That's it.
It's a one-man show?
This is D Block's ride. Yeah.
So
he's got elements that help, but they're not right. They're not doing the route, driving the ride like he is. He's at the front and center. So,
wow.
Any question there is about his physicality, he rocked it. I mean, he was off of me, that's for sure.
Anybody who doubts D Blocks as a real rider is insane. Like they're insane. I watch this dude's live all the time, and from sun up to sundown, like he's outside.
Yep.
Everywhere he goes is by a bike. I've never seen him on a train, a subway, nothing. It's always on a damn bike. And I'm like, doesn't he have a whole family? Like, what is dinner like? Like, let's go out to dinner. Like, is everybody piled up on the bike? Like,
took his son, one of his sons at one point. It was like D Blocks, either Amir was riding or D Blocks would kind of carry him, and then one of us would carry Amir's bike on our shoulder, and we'd kind of pedal around. And
oh my God,
that was only to move us from one location to the next faster.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Amir would have been on the bike the whole time. He didn't want to let go of his bike.
Oh my God. So a beast is raising a beast, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think a very special thing for me is I'm so seeing videos from New York of the riders there, right? Whether it's D Blocks or Thumbhead or the CJ or, you know, any of the kids that rides out there. And now I kind of understand, you know, the skyline, as it were, right? I can tell, oh, this is outside of that park, or this is underneath that particular part of whatever the subway tracks. I know where that is now, and I can map out where things are happening, and that's really cool to me, right? And just, you know, riding with O Blocks, seeing that kid doing his thing. And I mean, so much talent because there's so many people out there working hard. It's very special. So I feel very blessed that I was able to do that.
Yeah, and Oblox is from out here, right?
No, Oblox is out there.
Oh, okay. I thought he was from out here. I see him a lot out here.
Did a nice photo shoot in LA, a video shoot. But yeah, he's out there.
Oh, dang. Okay. I thought Oblox from out here.
Yeah.
All right. So did the rise start in Harlem or did it end in Harlem?
It ended in Harlem. And actually,
so it started in Manhattan.
It started actually on the Brooklyn side, between Brooklyn and Queens, I would say.
Okay.
North, and it has to intentionally kind of rove.
Right.
Put like a big billboard and say, hey, we're going to start this big ride that's going to, be a little disruptive. Like, here's the big sign of where it's going to start and when it's going to start. You kind of have to be a bit more prescriptive in terms of check back and we'll give you just enough time to get there.
Yeah.
I ended up looping from Harlem out to the Bronx and then down towards Brooklyn before the ride even started. So I had a good number of miles under my belt before the actual ride.
Right, for the actual ride, yeah.
And that was great because, I met up with a lot of the Jersey guys. Rosati was there. Easy was there with all of the Miami guys.
Oh, yeah.
Back and so on. So we met in the Bronx and then continued down. And, you want to talk about just kind of the randomness of just how special it is. I was late to the start, the pre-meeting for Ebro. And I'm like, I needed an extra 30 minutes that morning. And I end up getting on the road and I'm all by myself, right? There's no one around. I'm like, shit, I missed everything. And I run into Art BMX.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Lock the keys to my car. I don't know how to lock my car. My car is illegally parked right there on the street. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, well, let's ride.
Yeah. Hey, Art is so funny. I be watching his videos all the time, and he's like, it's just so hilarious watching his videos, man. I saw, did you meet up with Mohammed Blocks out there, Mo Blocks?
I did meet Mo Blocks. Yep.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Mo Blocks, man. I like that dude.
We had dinner.
He code on that PK, like, man. I met him. I've been following him for a while because my son's a big Mo Blocks fan. Okay. So they have the same PK. And when we got to Vegas last year, not the one that just happened, the one prior, when we got out there, Mo Blocks was there. So we had to go meet up with him. We hung with him for like half the day, chopped it up with him, took pictures and stuff. Him and my son exchanged numbers and stuff like that. And, I tried to keep, they keep in touch. They talk to the DMs and stuff like that. But, man, Mo Blocks is something else. Just watching him ride in person, it was like poetry in motion. Just watching this guy just manhandle that bike like that, I was impressed.
No, the guy that I had a lot of fun watching is a guy that I've been friends with. So, I guess to bring it back to Mo, Mo was on a dirt bike when I saw him much of the time. Mm-hmm. The guy that I spent a lot of time riding with was Motor City Mo. Also yeah. When he landed in New York, right, he assembled his bike in my hotel room, and then we went riding. So we got to spend all Friday riding together, riding at night. I think we rode until 2-something in the morning that night.
Jeez.
Constantly on the bikes. That guy puts in a lot of work.
Yeah.
But keeping up with Motor City Mo was a lot of fun. And I think we had some fantastic conversations off the bikes. Also just kind of checking, what is the scene like over there on your part? And what does bike life mean over there? And then how do we as adults kind of continue to promote like a healthy lifestyle and get somewhere with our families and then guide the bike life community? So we had a lot of leadership discussions, I think, that were important.
Yeah.
And you can't really do it. I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to kind of speak, with the live. I don't use this feature enough. But this is a good way of technology for bridging different parts of the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. And did when you were there, let's see, what was my question? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, what was like, I know you guys didn't stop. I guess you already answered that because you say you didn't make like very many stops. So I was like, what was like like the mentality like of like the young ones? Like you seen some of the rides out here with the young ones
They would not.
versus like the young ones out there. Like what was that mentality like?
Um, so there weren't a lot of very young riders.
Okay.
There were only a handful. I would say Ezra from Stockton was
Yeah.
younger ones, and then Little Man is also one of the younger ones. And
Oh, Lil Man was out there.
yeah, Little Man was out there. But I mean, he's got a support group.
Yeah.
Also had a very young, one of the young daughters, Em, was there from Vegas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh Mia.
Yep. So they,
Oh yeah. Oh, she gets busy, bro. She gets busy.
yeah, I think those family units are able to get by and do most of the ride. I don't know about every single mile, but they did a lot.
Yeah.
Other regular kids, like your children, regular children, wouldn't make it quite so.
Okay.
Do a portion of the ride out, but not the whole thing.
Right. Right.
Physically demanding, and that's just the nature of the beast on that one.
Yeah.
I think when we did come for a stop, it was like, hey, there's a deli and a spot, and there's no cops around, so we're just going to take a pause. Everybody run in and get what you need, and then even before you guys get out of the store, we're going to take off again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If there's one lesson I learned, it's don't let anyone see you eating a banana.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's like that's a life lesson for a male. You never want another man watch you. This is the manly way to eat a banana. You break it. You break it off and then throw it in the mouth.
I mean, I'm like, it's the same thing. You're still sticking a banana in your mouth.
Yeah, but it's different when you hold it and then you're going all the way. It's different.
I think
break the banana off. You know what I mean? You gotta break it. When I was in high school, somebody threw in the comments a little banana. When I was in high school, and we saw somebody eating a banana, as soon as they tilted their head over, bro, we was slamming it like, or we would hit the bottom of the head and just you know what I mean?
Totally different for me. I was like, I grew up eating a lot of fruits in Hawaii, and I didn't know people were like, you're gonna gay. Like,
yeah, man, you can't eat a banana. You in New York, you know what I mean? So it's it's predominantly, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can't eat the banana. Yeah, you can't eat the banana. You gotta chop that bad boy up. You know? You gotta have it in a Ziploc and just roll a little piece out.
It's gonna be a fork and a knife for me from now on.
Yeah, you gotta bring a plate, fork, and a knife, chop it up.
Put a napkin.
Yeah, napkin and everything.
Yeah. So no, it was good. I didn't eat enough during the day. I probably should have prepared more. I'll be ready next year.
Yeah.
Full meal before the ride and maybe pack a meal more than water, because the waters were just too heavy to carry. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got to fit that in. Just plan to buy waters rather than think you can bring enough to survive with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. Like, I've got so much information out of this. I'm like, I was thinking like, I knew the group size was so big, but I was like, all right, maybe they're making stops, and this and that. But now I see you got to have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner in your bag, and it's got to be light. So a lot of those crunch bars, those hiking type stuff. Like if you're going on a long hike, pack light, but pack well, So you got to treat it like that,
I'll bring a hydration pack and just, hook up with a group. I mean, even if you don't ride together in the same city, share your location with one another.
Yeah.
Because that's another key thing for us to be able to monitor and track where the ride was and where certain people were. So you knew if you needed to, right, you had your emergency contact, right? I always knew where Mo was. I always knew where Steezy was, right? I could map out where they were and they could see where I was, so that when they got separated, they knew how to come back to the ride. So that was very good.
Yeah. Let me take a little pause. Let me look in here in these comments. Lil Dom said, would he make it? I'm say no, Lil Dom. I done rode with you a couple times, and you got some wheels on you, but I done seen you a couple times where you were like, you had a little steam on. So I think, I don't know about Ebro. I mean, I think you would make it, but you wouldn't be in the very, very front, if anything. Let's see. What else we got going on? I'm going. Somebody Time Shell Shock said he's going down on the banana. Everybody's saying no on the bananas. No bananas. No bananas.
Yeah. I thought this was an inclusive community.
Let's see. Like that watch says, I talked to a few people in the last 6 months from Miami, San Francisco, New York, who have come to LA. Bike runs are always, people say, people here are, I understand what he's saying, but it just reads weird. But he was basically saying people from all other states come to LA and say that the rides here are dope. The rides are here dope. I mean, it's Cali. Like, it's the West Coast. You're right next to the beach. It's always sunny. It never rains in California. Like, all these things. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
anytime you come to Cali, you can find you a good ride spot, especially if you're on the coast. Most definitely.
LA and
Let's see. Yeah, Q-Tip, Strava Beacon. Okay. Somebody wants to know that I've seen this question pop up 3 times. Maybe you have this answer because I don't. But they want to know which brand manufactures new BMX Mongoose bikes, 26 and 27s, and is it easily available? The only one that I know is Walmart that is manufacturing Mongooses of 26s. I don't know about a 27. I've never seen a 27, but a 26 for sure. I know it's at Walmart. I don't know if they like that answer, but
Mongoose
what I know.
3 29-inch bikes are going to be dropping. But there's going to be an aluminum Mongoose, and then I think there's a steel version as well, 29-inch. They're unusual in that they kind of split the price point between like a Flyer on the bottom end,
Yeah.
48 spoke wheels, so a lot of spokes on the wheels compared to like 36 on a normal 29-inch
Right.
wheel, but
Right.
they're the wall rims, so I don't know exactly how durable they're going to be like in real life. So I don't know. I wish all the manufacturers well, because no matter what, there's a bike, right? There's a seat for every ass.
Right.
And I don't care what somebody rides, as long as they're having fun on it. I think that's
Right.
I see kids on little mountain bikes that are just enjoying themselves, and with just a change of tires, they're out with us on the street. So I think the more we can do to pull more riders to us to join us, I think that's going to be key for our survival as a sport moving forward. I do not want to see this be a 3 to 5 year fad.
Right.
With the pandemic kind of winding down and people going back to work and people growing up, I see it slowing down a little bit, but I do not want it to go away. So
Yeah. I don't. Do you see that? I don't. Me personally, I don't see it going away. I've seen some changes happen, and it's kind of dying down a little bit. But people are like, they're taking a little break every now and then. They go do a little something, and then they come back out. You know what I mean? So I think that's just because everything is open back up, and all of the things that they are into is now available. So they're like, oh, let me spend a little time over here now.
Yep.
But they still come back to it. I just think we had kind of a down spiral, you know what I mean, with some of the deaths that happened, where people kind of got a little like shook a little bit on that. But I think now it's starting to, people are starting to come back out more. I think.
I would agree. I think, like you said, it's competing hobbies, competing priorities, right?
Yeah.
My club couldn't do anything during the pandemic.
Right.
Now we're back to like monthly meets, and we're doing level events with the club. So I'm losing certain weekends that I would normally be able to put towards bike life. I think for me, when I started, it was just, I would be able to get out for one ride out a month, right? And I was like, oh, I'm going to wait for Santos Sunday, because that was like the biggest day that I could get to easily. And then big ride outs in Stockton, and there's a big ride, in Sacramento that Rickard does, and Damon's group in Stockton puts together a fun ride. But there's different flavors with the different cities.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just getting more selective on where we can put the time in. So I'm still trying to ride as many days a week as I did before, 5 days a week, maybe 6, but I'm not able to get to as many ride outs. So, I mean, especially Ebro, kind of, it hits you in the wallet, because New York's expensive. The flight's expensive. The hotel's expensive.
Yeah.
So you got to plan things out. It's not like a week before, like, I think I'm going to go to New York. Like, you got to.
Yeah. That's kind of like how I was looking at it, because like my wife was like, "Oh yeah, we're all gonna go," and I was like, "Wait a minute,
There goes 10
all
cents.
5 of us are gonna go?" Like, I think just the ones that are actually gonna be on the bike should go for this one. You know, you guys more than welcome to come with us when we go to Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. All right, here we go. I think we covered this one already, but somebody I think just joined Adventure Sudi. What do you think of hub brakes? Do you think is more fun than hand brakes? So they probably mean disc brakes versus the V clamps, which we talked about a little bit earlier. And like you said, it's personal preference. Um, Disc brakes, just be ready to be doing like a lot of adjustments, constant adjustments after a ride, just little light things that you're going to have to do. Plus, bleeding those brakes every periodically. Not to mention, rotors can get slightly tweaked, so there's adjustments to be made there versus a V clamp where it's just brake pads, you squeeze and go. You know, so it's depending. You know, the kind of look that everybody's going towards now. Everybody likes how the bikes look with the rotors and stuff like that on it, but you know, there's a lot of maintenance. So it's personal preference. I think. What do you think?
I'm going to disagree a little bit on the maintenance aspect for the hydraulic disc brakes. I never really touch mine.
Really?
Yeah, I like set it up, like square the caliper up over the rotor.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, I pedal down my big hill, and that's it. And then the only time I consider bleeding it is when I change the brake pads, and that's about every 1,000 miles. So I don't give a shit, right?
I'm always bending a rotor. Like I don't know why. Maybe because I'm braking so hard.
Maybe if you're banging it against a foot peg when you put it on a rack, maybe something. I
That
can't.
might be maybe when maybe it's getting caught somewhere in between loading and moving things around maybe. But yeah, I'm constantly having to like loosen up the calipers and like squeeze the brake and then relock it again. Like something is always kind of shifting for me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't really have that issue. Just lucky, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you guys are in the area, Rialto area, you can most definitely swing by Don's and go check out Bible and the rest of the gang. They will most definitely get your bike right. You do what bike shop do you go to? Like you got a bike shop that you're like, this is my bike shop I come to for whatever, you know?
I actually spread my bike shop money around rather than just one store. I mean, I wish I could just go with one store, but the Bay Area is a hard place to live. So
Yeah.
I give some of my money to the Clayton and Encina bicycle stores. They're the closest ones to my house. I try and share some of the money with Area Cycles in Hayward because there's a thriving bike life scene there.
Right.
And shop caters to bike life more than others that I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of bike shops are like, hey, would you like a $15,000 road bike? We'd love to take care of you. Mike's bike. And then you've got other places that are like, would you like a $7,500 e-bike, mountain bike? We'd love to take care of you mountain bikers.
Yeah.
And, oh, but I ride a big BMX, and they're like, yeah. You know, like
Yeah.
they're a small fry, even when you're buying $1,000 bike.
Right. And that's kind of how it is at most of the bike shops here. Because we got a lot of bike shops, but there's not really any. There's no bike shops out here. Well, I take that back. It was like in my area where I live at, in my immediate like 10 to 15 mile radius, there's no bike shops that's dedicated BMX. Everything is mountain bike, road bikes with a splash of BMX over here and stuff like that. But Don's is predominantly more on the BMX side, but they also have road bikes. And a lot of the guys that are there actually ride, road bikes, and a lot ride like Bible. He rides BMX with us. So I think that's why, it's just a little bit easier, you know what I mean, for us because the bike shops in this immediate area are more mountain and road bikes predominantly over BMX bikes, Yep. So then it makes the parts issue hard to find, and hard to get to.
I guess most of my stuff comes from city grounds.
Yeah. Shout out to City Grounds, man. I did a event with them, JT Racing, where I saw I pulled up on Jacob. I might have scared him because I was like, "What's up, Jacob?" And I caught him off guard. He was turned around. He turned around like I'm about to hit somebody. And then he saw it was me. He was like, "Oh man, what's up?" You know what I mean? So I think I caught him off guard. But City Grounds, man, we had a swerve competition out there, and one of the Ism boys, which is out here in the IE, won the competition, and City Grounds provided them with a bike, man. He went home with a brand new crew bike, one of their Crew 29. So that was real dope at City Grounds, man. I like that. Even though they are big, they still come out to like the smaller events and they show love, So shout out to City Grounds, man. I got plenty of bikes that came out of City Grounds. So yeah, man. Shout out to City Grounds.
The place you could get them, right? I mean, I think that's the other thing. The 2020, 2021, it was like if you saw something, you had to go for it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think all bike shops need support. So I try and actually spend a lot of my money on the smaller stuff, with the local shops. But other items that they don't have or can't get, then I have to go online. So, is Jake still on here? I can't tell. My comments like froze like an hour ago.
No, I don't think he is at this point. I don't think he is. I haven't seen his name. He might be, maybe. If you're still on here, man, pop up and shoot us a comment in here. Let us know you're still on the live. But I don't know if he is. It's hard to tell. I don't really know who's on. I just see the just join, and comments and stuff like that as they pop up. Jimmy's is a BMX bike. I see that, but they're not in my immediate area. That's kind of what I meant when I said 10, 15 minutes. I'm just reading over some of the comments real fast. Somebody's talking about a unicycle. All right, let's see. What else? Okay. So Adventure always said he meant the pedal brake. Oh, okay. He meant pedal brake when you use your leg in reverse. Oh, the back pedals. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the back pedals. That's like old school, Bill. I had those when I was a kid. When you go down the hill and you just back pedal real hard and you just skirt. But now that's a fixie, right?
No, well, it's a coaster brake is what it's called, and
the coaster, yeah,
comes out and hooks onto the chainstay. I haven't rid a wheelie bike with a coaster brake. The super old school. Right. When I watch OG Darren and he pops it up, he does these very quick, small crank rotations.
Yeah.
He's always ready to go in reverse and tap that brake. So he'll pop up and then immediately do the quick little thing. That's a very strong sign that he grew up in the coaster brake days. He learned to wheelie on the coaster brake. And then I think I've got video of him, like 30 seconds he's riding. He doesn't even put his finger on the brake.
Oh, wow.
They're riding, with a foot brake that he just gets up and he's like just riding along. And I'm like, when is he going to use the brake? And he just does. So, I mean, you can tell how some people learn. And it's obviously stayed with him for decades.
Yeah. Man, did we cover everything with Ebro? Is there anything that you feel like you left out, or anything else, like somebody who's like, man, you know what, I think I want to get out there next year? Anything else that they may need to know about Ebro? Like when you get there, how do you know the meet spot? Is this like you DMing people, or
kind of? I mean, there will be an Ebro account that you can go to, right? An hour before the ride start, they'll announce the location, right? And then it's up to you to get there.
Right. Oh, so you don't even know where the location. That makes like the logistics even harder, because like, what if you book your room in Staten Island, and they're like, hey, by the way, the ride is gonna be over here in in Harlem. You're like, oh damn.
That's what it was. I was like, shit, we got a ways to go.
Yes. But do they give you like, all right, in an hour be here, or we're gone?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I mean, you want to be there within an hour, and then there's a little bit of time where people are kind of still gathering at the meet spot before the ride actually takes off. So I'd say it's doable. If you're in one of the 5 boroughs, you're going to get there. So definitely be in New York, somewhere around Manhattan, right? Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, anywhere in there, you'd be just fine. It adds to the little bit of the cannonball run aspect, right? We don't know when where it's
Yeah. Oh
hard.
yeah. Cannonball Run. Wow.
I'm old, man.
I love those movies. I love those movies, man. All the Burt Reynolds movies. Ah, Cannonball. Yeah. I haven't heard that in a long time. Like somebody asked in your area who, and you may not even want to answer that, but who are the underrated riders?
Underrated riders in my area.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic question because I think there's underrated riders everywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. That's why I'm like, it's hard to name, you know, it's a lot.
Well, I think I
It's a
evaluate
lot.
differently than just the skill set. And that part of that is my age perspective, and then also what I do for work, right?
Yeah.
I people for what they can contribute. Are they going to be a team leader, or are they just going to be an individual contributor? And in some of the conversations I've had with other folks in the bike life community, it's like there's thousands of kids doing tricks,
Right.
and at my age, I can't really tell if you put your right foot over the left or your left foot over the right, and then maybe
Yeah.
you figured out how to do it this way one day, and it's like, oh, that's a big deal. But to me, it kind of looks like, oh, it's a crisscross, right? Or it's a
Yeah.
crisscross. I like to see other things off the bike. I like to see other activity because that actually shows me who you are as a person beyond just a guy learning how to do tricks.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people do tricks. But what makes an underrated rider? Is it just the fact that he swerves harder? Is it the fact that he's more daring? He'll go up and challenge a bus. Like to me, that doesn't show the right leadership, to the communities. I want to see people that are helpful, people that put together charity runs, like things that actually add value to society. That's kind of what I think. So
Yeah.
when I
Engaging.
underrated riders, they're the grinders that are putting on the weekly night ride.
Right.
Right? They usually have good technical foundation, good skills. They can jump, they can wheelie, but they're not in it for like the limelight. They're not trying to be sponsored. At our age, we're not trying to be sponsored, right? I'd rather one of the girls get sponsored by a major company because I think we need more women riders to
Yeah.
encourage more girls to get in the sport. I don't need to be sponsored, but when I think of underrated riders, it's the guys that actually lead the weekly rides.
Yeah.
I know there's Ant out in Vacaville. There's Maney, down in San Lorenzo. There's people doing work to keep the community going, and I don't think we recognize enough.
Yep.
Sam,
That's true.
he's got a tremendous amount of skill set, but he leads one of the largest rides in the Bay Area, if not the largest. And it happens several times a year, and I think we look for that because being able to pull together the people and the different aspects of the community for a big ride, that's important.
Yeah.
And we need folks like that to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I agree with you 100%. That's kind of my gauge as well. I'm looking at, well, what else are they doing? Because you can learn the bike stuff, but you can't learn who you are as a person. Like that's developed over time. Are you either are that person or you're not? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I look at it. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, man, I agree.
You ride like a jerk. That's not good for anybody, right?
Right. Yep.
Right, and that sometimes that means you got to know when to risk it and go for it, and kind of be a little punk rock, right? I think my area took over the Bay Bridge. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, right? That's a lifetime memory to go across the Bay Bridge on a bicycle.
Yeah.
So I think
that's the one ride that I wanted to go to that I missed was the SE ride, the Oakland and San Francisco.
Yeah.
I missed it last year, and I was like, okay, if they come around this year, I'm going for sure. And then we went out of town. We went to Vegas, and then I heard about the ride, and I was like, are you serious? So the day we were coming back from Vegas, like I was trying to hurry up and get home. I was like, if I hurry up and get home, I could just take off and go straight up to the Bay and make the ride. I was just fooling myself. There was no way I was able to even pull that off, but that was in my mind because it was the next day. But I was like, oh, man, that's the one that I missed. But when they do it again, I'm most definitely going to do that one. I've been dying to ride the Bay Area for a cool minute. So, yeah, I got to get up there.
Both those days' rides were amazing.
Yeah.
and different flavors, right? Oakland, you've got Oakland. We went up through Berkeley. Beast Mode was with us. Obviously, that meant for a special ride.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit grittier. And then San
Yeah.
Francisco got a bit more of the Victorians and the beauty, the scenery,
Yeah.
going through the Presidio. Definitely a lot of hills.
Yeah, yeah.
Is particularly special. So that was a beautiful day as well. I think tough to say which one I had more fun at, because both days were amazing. I had a ton of footage and photographs from that I probably still haven't put out, just because I've got like a terabyte of bike stuff that I've got stored.
Same here, bro. I have so much footage. I just can't never, because some of it is not like the ooh and the ah. It's just, like when we was in Santa Barbara and we was just sitting under the tree and, we was passing the little fifth round, you know what I mean? It's like those little moments, you know what I mean? I was recording while we was sitting there in certain areas, but like people don't want to see all that, you know what I mean? But that's that personal connection that we had, you know what I mean? So those are important to me, so I keep those and I just store them. I got a lot of footage just stored, that'll never see the light of day, but I got it because I'm like, I want to be able to show my grandchildren at some point, like, this is what I did. So I record a lot. I just want to sit back and be like, if you don't know what I did, bam, here. I just wish that this recording stuff and this type of technology was around when I was a kid, like, because I was really cutting up. Like, I would have been like, it was, I just didn't know about it. It wasn't accessible to me in my area where I was at, but like, X Games and all these different sports now that is, you can do badminton as a professional sport, but like that stuff wasn't around like when I was a kid, so I feel like if we had cameras back then, like, man, I'll be on a whole nother level, you know what I mean? You're upside down right now.
Oh, I had to plug in my phone. I guess.
Okay, well, man, hey, flip it back over. We're going to cut it because we've been on for like almost 2 hours, man. We're going to go ahead and cut it. And I don't want your phone to die because I just looked at my battery and I'm in the little yellow %. But, man, hey, it was a pleasure, bro, having you on, and a pleasure of just getting all that knowledge from you, man. And I want to say continue to do those videos because people are watching. You already know that. People watching your stuff. You already know that.
I want everybody to have fun and join in.
Like
this community, we need to wrap our arms around one another. There's enough hatred. There's enough division elsewhere.
Right.
But I think when it comes to bikes, 2 wheels, 1 wheel, it's one family, right? And I think, it's SE's slogan, but I really do believe we ride as one.
We do, man. I think if we can get past, because I hear this a lot. People are like, "Oh, I'm better than this and I'm better than that person." It's always like who. I just feel like, look, why can't we all just be good? Why can't 5 people be like the greatest? It just doesn't have to be this is the one person who's the greatest at combos. Why can't it be many people that's great at combos or great at everybody can just do their own personal best and be great at it. That's acceptable. It doesn't have to be just that one person, So I feel like if we get past a lot of that, I think that, like you say, we ride as one will really stand out,
Yeah. I think we're stronger together. I do believe in healthy competition. That drives us to be better. So, I mean, if one guy good at combos, I want somebody to battle with him, and I want them all to improve. But after that, we've got to look out for one another. And if it means saying, hey, that was a dick move, don't ride like a dick, or hey, watch out for yourself. You almost got clipped. You didn't even know it. That's the kind of, family spirit I want us to be able to have talking to anybody in the scene.
Right.
So I appreciate the chance to speak with your listener base, your followers, and other folks that follow Dad Mode.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, and if you guys are not following Dad Mode, please get out there, follow Dad Mode, support the movement of what Dad Mode is doing. And support me too. If you watch Dad Mode stuff, come follow Can I Live, KANILIV, Can I Live. Also, Outsiders Bike Life. If you didn't know, it's on the shirt. I'm gonna stand up
there
one
it is.
time. Bam.
Outsiders.
Outsiders behind me. That's the crew. And like again, when you see me out there, pull up on me, say slap me. That's our new slogan. We saying slap me. So when you pull up, just say slap me.
Hey,
and
like
then
that
I'm gonna hit you with a sticker. Yeah.
Obama with the SoCal Clunkers that just chimed in.
Where?
I think the guys, if I'm reading the chat correctly.
Oh yeah,
SoCal
somebody
Clunkers.
say yeah. Shout out to the SoCal Clunkers, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that watch, yeah. That's who it was. So
Nice.
yeah, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We know it's getting late. We've been on
Yep.
for almost 2 hours now, but
Shit.
you know what I mean? We hope that everybody is able to get something out of this to be able to be like, you know what, I didn't know that, or I got that information now and I'm ready for it. And again, continue to follow Dadmo Willie Gang because he's always up on the information and the knowledge. So you got anything else you want to say to anybody out there?
Just thank you, everyone, for the continued love and support. If you have questions, shoot me a DM, right? And
Yes,
we're in Australia.
Melbourne. I saw that earlier.
All
Australia.
right.
Yeah, Melbourne.
I
That's a
have been
whole
to
nother
Melbourne.
day going on right there. It's daytime. You know what I mean?
I have been down to, oh God, what is that? Cows Island? No. Maybe it is Cows. Where the little penguins are, the 1 foot tall penguins. Phillip Island in Australia. So,
That's
bye-bye
still
from
on my bucket
Mumbai.
list.
Okay.
It's still on my bucket list to get down there. But that Tokyo ride, man, if you put that together, please let me know.
All
Keep
right.
me informed. I most definitely get my ticket out there. Other than that, man, we up out. I
Thanks,
appreciate
everyone.
you. Yes, sir. We up out of here. Yes, sir. And again, you guys, I'm just doing my little outro if you want to hang up. There we go. So again, you guys, just quick little reminders for the outsiders. Again, with the announcements. So Takeover Tuesday, October 4th. Okay, we're gonna be out in Redlands. Pull up on us, outsiders. October 4th, Redlands. Meet at 6 o'clock. We're gonna be at the top of the parking structure. Okay, the flyer is out, so just get the rest of the information from there. And we're rescheduling for the kids ride. We got to reschedule that, but we're gonna let you know. We're gonna hit you with that information. And again, next week we got the wettest paint, IE's own, IE's finest wet paint. Larry's gonna be in the building, so you guys please tune in for another fabulous show. And like I always say, if you like what you heard and you heard something that you like, please shoot me a follow. I'm Can I Live, KANILIB, and most definitely down with the outsiders. That's what I represent, the outsiders bike life, baby. And we are out of here. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Out.